Test 1 2, test 1 2. Can I get a test? Can I get a test here? Oh yeah. Looks like beer, but I don't drink that. What we have here is some bone broth, some chicken bone broth. Really good, this whole cup. About 60 calories, about 15 or 14 grams of protein, minerals, vitamins. So good. I'm gonna sip on that here as I go through this video. And what I want to talk about this week is something that I posted on my YouTube community here, on one of these new text posts that YouTube allows us to do, which I titled the Trifecta for Optimal Living. Now you might be wondering, Stephen, you're so young, what do you know about optimal living? Well, I don't know much, and that's the truth, is that there's so much that we don't know. I don't know what I don't know, and I do know what I don't know, and I try and research what I do know that I don't know, but there's so many things that I don't know that I don't know. And these are simply things that I've implemented in my life. See, over the last 3 years, I've tried to really kind of narrow it down is what's most important. What's most important to help us have a really high-performing, healthy baseline. And I've said this on my channel before, specifically in my 18 free biohacks to potentially upgrade your life video. I'll put a card right here, really long title. I'm feeling really good right now. I hope you can tell that. I hope you can feel my energy, and I hope you're having a great day. On average, if I get my average sleep, eat my average diet, have my average everything throughout the day, I feel really fucking good. My baseline is really, really high. And that's not to say that I'm better or anything. That's just something that I've fine-tuned and dialed in for my life, experimenting with many different things and finding things that have worked for me. Now, the methods for the trifecta for optimal living, I'm going to use that term here. The methods could be different, okay? But it's the principles that I think could apply to many. And use your own judgment, use your own research. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm not here to tell you that what I'm doing is best, but I'm going to share with you the principles so that way, hopefully, it sparks some new thoughts, some new ideas, some new practices in your life. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, hey, it's a learning lesson. But I posted this on my Instagram, my YouTube community page. I hope you go and see the post, but I'm just going to elaborate on it here. And excuse me for not having a video last week. It's been a crazy week, birthday week, starting a new full-time job. This is literally the only time I have to shoot a video this week, but I want to do it because I love bringing content to you guys and I love doing it. So we have 6 layers, 3 on the outside, 3 on the inside. The 3 on the outside are the most important, and those influence, and they're in order of importance, and those influence the 3 pieces of the pie on the inside. So what's most important, in my opinion? What's the highest priority for having an optimal lifestyle where you feel amazing, where your relationships are good, your stress is good, your cognition is good, your mental state is balanced, your highs aren't too high, your lows aren't too low, that really allow us to go about life with an amazing lens, with an amazing perspective? What is most important, even when it comes to fitness and body composition and your nutrition, is your consistency and your habits and your adherence. Number 1 most important. It doesn't matter if you find the best diet, doesn't matter if you find the best supplement, doesn't matter if you find the best protocol, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter all these gurus saying they have the best diet for your body type, which is complete BS. What matters is, are you going to stick to it? Keto diet, is it an optimal diet? I don't know. Some say yes, some say no. It doesn't matter. Can you stick to it? High carb diet, is it best? Some say yes, some say no. Doesn't matter. Can you stick to it? That's what's most important. See, it's not what we do in a day. It's what we can do every single day. It's what we can do daily, because that's what's going to give us the long-term big results. You'd be surprised. It's the small little changes, the small things that we implement on a daily basis that give us the big long-term results that we're looking for. The big wins in life are often from small changes. So can you adhere to it? Can you make it consistent? Can you make it a habit? The best meditation practice probably is a 2-hour transcendental meditation session a day. Can you stick to it? No, then a 5-minute is best for you. Does that make sense? Consistency and habits. Number 1, outer layer for everything, for your diet, for your nutrition, for your physical activity, for your mindset, for your sleep. Can you stick to the routine long term and do you like it? Can you adhere to it? Point blank, period. I have nothing else to say on that because that's most important. Next, on the inner side, on the inner layer there, the second layer, emotions, mental health, and mindset. This, in my opinion, is, yes, more important than your diet, than your nutrition. And the reason I say that is because how are you viewing the world? What is your mindset? Are you focusing on a scarcity mindset? Are things scarce for you? Oh, this can't happen. This won't happen. I'm not able to do that. I'm unhappy. I'm depressed. I have anxiety. And I've dealt with that in my life, with depression, with major anxiety, especially growing up in my teenage years, especially through high school and early middle school. Major anxiety. I used to felt like just puking at school just because of how just anxious I felt. If your emotions aren't in check, if your highs are way too high and your lows are just so low that we're experiencing some major emotional obstacles, that's going to affect everything else because you're not going to be happy. It doesn't matter if the diet is great if you're not happy about it. If you can't view it from a positive, abundant growth mindset. Does that make sense? Are we working at getting better? Are we happy in life? Do we have a purpose? Some type of purpose. It doesn't have to be a big change the world thing. Do we have some purpose? Some way that we can fulfill ourselves? Do we feel fulfilled? Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be sad. We should. That's an emotion. That's emotion that we should be feeling. But overall, how are you viewing the sadness? Are you using that to help you grow, or using it to just dive you in, to just dig you into a deeper hole of depression? Now, I'm not an expert there on depression, anxiety. I have dealt with it and I've worked my way through it. I'm not going to get into that here, but I would say seek help. But that definitely to me is a second layer of importance, is our emotions, our mental health, and our mindset. Because overall, if we're not happy, it's hot in here. Woo! This bone broth got me sweating. If we're not happy, if we can't view the world in a growth, abundance, positive mindset, then things will hinder at some point. And if you dealt with that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So what are some things that I do in that area is a lot of personal growth. I read the books, I listen to the audio podcasts, I surround myself with positive people as much as I can. Although I'm alone a lot of the time because I'm just that kind of person. I'm an introvert. I'm fine being alone on my computer with the internet. Sounds a little creepy. Definitely something we want to work on before we focus on diet and nutrition. Because if the mindset and the mental health isn't at a nice, healthy state, then we can get over obsessed with our diet and nutrition. And then that can turn into potential eating disorders such as binge eating, overeating, anorexia, different things like that. So we want to get those things in check first. And for me, that was key, because that also, having a positive mindset, a positive mental attitude, also helped me develop discipline for all the other areas. Because if I'm positive, okay, I want to get better. Now I want to improve my diet. Now I want to improve my sleep. Now I want to improve now I'm going to have the motivation to go work out. Does that make sense? Which is on the inner piece of the pie. But again, can you sustain the practices that allow you to have a positive mindset? Adherence is still number 1. Now, moving in the third layer of the circle, your sleep and circadian rhythm. Absolutely key for everything on the 3 pieces of the pie on the inside. Because if your sleep is shit, let's be real, your stress management is going to be down. Because if you're not sleeping good, you're going to be stressed throughout the day. You're going to have an overactivation of the stress system on your body. Cortisol is going to be higher. And what's going to come from that? You're going to be hungrier. So therefore, your diet and your nutrition is going to be impacted because you're going to have more food cravings. You're going to be more likely to reach for the hyperpalatable, caloric dense cookies and snack foods and things like that, because now you're stressed and you slept like shit. So now you have more food cravings. It's known that if you have crappy sleep, that can influence obesity, your fatness, your cravings, and things like that. So very, very important. And your circadian rhythm determines overall hormonal function as well, or has some influence on it, right? Are we getting proper sunlight in the morning? Are we blocking blue light at night? I don't have my blue blockers with me here, but are we blocking blue light at night? Is our sleep-wake cycles in sync? Do we go to bed roughly around the same time? Do we wake up roughly around the same time? Do we sleep in as dark of a room as we can? Many things that we can do to improve our sleep. But as long as you are getting good, positive, healthy sleep, that's going to make everything else just so much more easier. You're going to have more willpower. You're going to have more discipline to follow your diet or your eating template. You're going to have more energy to go work out and to go get that lifting session in. You're going to have more energy to recover. If you're not sleeping well, you're not consolidating your memories. You're not having deep REM sleep or deep sleep. So then you're not going to be recovering from your workouts either. And then you're going to hit a point of overtraining, and then you're just going to be beating yourself up, ramping your stress even higher. Circadian rhythm is absolutely key. If you have disrupted circadian rhythm, look into the work of Dr. Sachin Panda, and especially just go through his Twitter. Look at some of the research articles that he posts. It's crazy what sleep and circadian rhythm, having a proper healthy one or an unhealthy one, can influence every other area of our health. Sleep, so overlooked. Get some good sleep. And if you want me to do a video on improving our sleep, I have many tips and tricks for that. My sleep is fucking awesome. I love sleep. I love doing it. And if you need help there, let me know. I feel pretty positive that I can actually help there. So those are the three most important things. Your adherence, can you stick to it? Even if I share with you the best sleep routine, can you stick to it? Because if not, it doesn't matter. So you see how adherence is absolutely key for everything. And then your emotions and your mental state. Are you happy? Are you positive? Okay. And that's not to say don't make yourself feel guilty for not thinking positive. We all think negative. We all think negative. It's just how do we handle that? How do we view that? And how do we use it in our life? Okay. Mental health, keep that in check. And then your sleep and circadian rhythm. That influences, those are absolutely the three highest priority things in my opinion. So those are the three outer layers. Now, let's move into the three pieces of the pie on the inside, where we also have a lot of control and that can also really impact how we feel on a daily basis, our cognition, and many other things. So for these last three pieces of the pie here, I'm not gonna go too in depth on each one because they can have their own separate series of videos, but I'm sure that, let's start with the obvious one, diet and nutrition. If you eat like shit, you're gonna feel like shit. And that's just kind of a fact. It's something that I've experienced, especially experimenting with cheat days recently or cheat meals. You just feel like shit. And after a while, it's like, do I really wanna do that? Not really. If we're eating overall, right? So let's be clear. There's no one size fits all for diets. The best diet for me is not going to be the best for you. The best for you is not going to be the best for the next person, right? It all depends on many different things. Number one, can we sustain it? That's pretty much number one always for everything. But also, different foods react differently with different people. So as long as, a couple rules of thumb, as long as we're eating whole, nutrient-dense foods, in my opinion, also getting in organ meats, getting in proper animal foods, getting in certain amounts of vegetables that you like, making sure we're hitting not only our macros, but as well as our micros as well, making sure we're getting enough protein, enough amino acids, making sure that we're fueling our workouts properly if you are an athlete. A lot of different things can go into diet and nutrition. But if your nutrition isn't dialed in, if your diet isn't dialed in, you're going to feel like shit. Eventually, you're going to look like shit, although there's, that might offend someone that I said that, but let's be real. It's going to impact how you look. It's going to impact how you feel. It's going to impact how you think. It's going to impact a lot of different things. That's why it's a big piece of the inner pie, the inner trifecta, the inner pieces of the pie for optimal living, getting a good diet in. If your diet's not dialed in, like I said, you're going to think like shit because you're going to have lots of brain fog. You're just not going to feel good. That can also actually impact your sleep as well. Because I know that if I eat too close before bed, especially a big heavy meal, I'm not going to sleep good. And oftentimes I wake up the next morning feeling like I got hit by a train if I eat way too close and crappy foods way too close before bed. So diet nutrition, you already know that. That's probably why you subscribe to my page. It's a big key for how we feel and how we live. Next, physical fitness and activity, or physical activity and fitness. Sorry. I'm super hyped up. I'm really excited right now. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's like, I want to get through this, but I want to take my time. I want to make sure I'm sharing the details. I love doing this. So I hope that this is bringing you some value in some way. Physical activity and fitness. Movement is a major important part of overall a healthy lifestyle. If you look at all the blue zones, they're active. They do physical work on a daily basis. They move. They don't sit. They don't live sedentary lifestyles. And there's exercise and then there's movement, right? Exercise would be going to the gym, doing an HIIT session, lifting some weights, getting a workout in. And then there's just movement, going on a walk. Do you aim to hit at least 10,000 steps per day? Although that number is pretty arbitrage-y, there's no real meaning to that number. Studies have found now that the more active steps you have throughout the day does increase longevity and does increase overall health. People who walk more, people who take more steps throughout the day do have overall healthier lifestyles, healthier blood work, and do live longer. So it's absolutely key. It's good for the brain. It's great for learning. If I'm going to sit down and do a learning session and I've been sitting for a while, I'm going to make sure I go hop on my vibration plate, go for a walk around the block, play with my kid for a little bit, something to get the blood going. Movement is also plays a key role in our circadian rhythm, because if we get movement shortly after waking up, that is a really good circadian cue for our bodies, and that will adjust our circadian rhythm and help us sleep better later in the day and help our hormones regulate with our circadian rhythm. So movement, physical fitness, and physical activity, especially working out and lifting weights and getting some muscle mass. That's very metabolically friendly tissue, and the more muscle that we have, some data suggests that ultimately the longer we will also live and the healthier that we will be. So lifting weights in and of itself, great for insulin sensitivity. It's great for managing hormones. It's great for appetite regulation. Exercise is medicine, in my opinion, for many different things. Last one, stress management. Our stress levels impact many different things on the body as well, and can play an overall role in many aspects of life, physically, mentally, and emotionally. So for example, if you are really high stress, if you're in a really high state of stress all the time, stressful job, stressful life at home, stressful relationships, your finances are a struggle, you can develop a stomach ulcer. You can get stomach acid problems, which will mess with your digestion. You'll get indigestion, which can come from stress. You can get heart attack. You can get a stroke. You can get high blood pressure. You can get depressed. You can develop anxiety. So many different things can happen physically, mentally, emotionally, as I said, from stress management. I don't think I need to go too in depth on there. I think we all know that. That's pretty like, duh, Stephen. But what are some things then that can help with that? I've experienced a lot of stress, having a kid at 16, having to get to work really early in life, working on I've had my fair share of stress, as I'm sure most of you have, especially those of you who are older. I'm sure you've had way more stress than I have. Absolutely. But what are some things that I have done that have helped me with that and managing my stress? Getting good sleep. My mental, emotional mindset states. And can I stick to them? That helps a lot with stress. Can you have a systematic routine for these things? That's why the 3 outer layers of the circle are the 3 outer layers. Meditation can help if you can stick to it. One thing that really did significantly impact how I manage my stress, though, is HRV, or heart rate variability training. And so I got a device years ago, a couple years ago, almost 3 years ago, called, it's from a company called HeartMath. And so it comes with a little ear clip it on your ear, and it's a heart sensor or a heartbeat sensor. Connect it to your phone. And then you download the app, and then it gives you breathing practice. And this doesn't just read your heartbeat, but it reads your heart rate variability, which is the spaces in between your heartbeats. Are they even? Are they not even? What's the space in between the heartbeats? And that determines whether you want fight or flight or rest and digest. What I did was I did this every day, starting with 3 minutes, because that's all I could stick to. Then I moved up to 5 minutes, and then eventually I was doing about 15 to 20 minutes a day of this heart rate variability training. Every single day for I think it was either 5 or 6 months I did this. Every single day. That helped me on command, turn off fight or flight. And I was able to then respond to situations instead of reacting to situations more habitually. Heart rate variability training, I think, is a very underrated biohack piece of tech that we can use. That helped me develop just a crazy amount of clear-headedness when it comes to intense situations or stressful situations. That is one. There's other things that we can do as well for stress. That is one. Also, I do love reishi mushroom especially reishi sport oil at the end of a stressful day. I'll take some equanimity from Alpha Dynamics, which is reishi sport oil, or I'll have some of their reishi powder. I also buy from Real Mushrooms. I have videos on mushroom extract. You can go here. Those specifically reishi mushroom can help a lot with stress management, winding down, helping you feel more calm at the end of the day. Very powerful adaptogen, right? Adaptogens help us adapt to stress. So reishi is a very powerful adaptogen. And so those are some things that can help with stress. Now, I don't want to go prolong this video. I don't want to make it longer than it needs to be. I say that with every video, and yet they're still about 20 minutes long. I just felt like there was so much energy in this video for me that I hope I didn't make it shitty. So, I didn't post a video last week, and not filming a video honestly felt weird to me. But like I said, it was just a crazy week. A lot of things going on. I just couldn't. I had to use that time for things that were really high priority for me in my life. Just for that week. Now we're back on track. We're back on schedule. I hope this video brought you value in any way, shape, or form. I want to know, what would you add or change to this health trifecta, this trifecta for optimal living? I want to know, because I want to know your feedback. What has helped with you? See, for me, that's the most important thing, is consistency, habits, and adherence. Can we make it consistent? And then it's how we view the world, our emotional and our mental states, and our mental health and our mindset. Then it's our sleep and our circadian rhythm, because that really can impact how we do the inner three pieces of the pie, which are diet, nutrition, physical and fitness activity, as well as our stress management. So I want to know your thoughts on that. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What would you add or change? Please give me some feedback down below so we can make this a community discussion, because that is my goal here with you guys. So I love you so much. Next week's video is going to be on coffee. Very in-depth video on the science behind coffee, whether or not it's healthy and why it can actually help us live a longer life. But not just that, what are the best ways to brew coffee and how to find the healthiest roast, because you'd be surprised. Most coffee in the stores, I'm going to save it for next week's video. This video is already too long. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Appreciate your time. Give me a thumbs up, please, if you found any sort of value from this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will catch y'all next week. Have a good one. I love you.